Thank you, Pankaj.
Thank you.
He is welcome. He is welcome. I'm Prem Singh Nigra from Rotary Club of Delhi Midwest.
Namaskar, Digra ji, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
We had met you at the Gulmohar Club with Sandeep Goyal ji. With Sandeep Goyal.
Yeah, I live here.
Yes. Ravinder ji, namaskar.
नमस्कार भाई साहब, नमस्कार प्रधान जी,
कैसे हैं?
ऑल गुड सर, ऑल गुड।
राजेश भाई नमस्कार, कैसी तबीयत है आपकी? आपका म्यूट पे है राजेश भाई।
रविंद्र जी नमस्कार।
नमस्कार विवेक भाई, नमस्कार।
पीयूष जी, अब आप चाहें तो यूट्यूब, वैसे तो अभी जूम पर आ रहे हैं लोग, अभी ज्यादा नहीं आए हैं, अगर आप चाहें तो यूट्यूब भी
नहीं लाइव कर दिया सर यूट्यूब पे। नाउ वी आर ऑन लाइव, सो वी कैन स्टार्ट द डिस्कशन। आई थिंक वी शुड नॉट वेस्ट टाइम।
यस,
Should we start?
आप एक बार इंट्रोडक्शन दे दीजिए प्रधान जी।
Or wait for some more people to join because it is 6:01 now. I think we can wait for 3-4 minutes more, and we can start at 6:05.
Yeah, 6:05 is okay.
राजेश भाई आपका म्यूट पे है। राजेश अग्रवाल जी आपका म्यूट पे है।
सर,
Yeah. We can hear you now.
I'm waiting for Sandeep Goyal.
He would be joining.
Yeah, he should be.
आप सब लोगों को मेरा नमस्कार।
नमस्कार भाई साहब, नमस्कार।
कैसी तबीयत है आपकी?
भैया, it's a privilege for all the Rotary Club members that Veggie is among with us just because of Vivek bhai, this hard work and all these things. And you may believe it or not, but all of you know it very well, because for the last 4 years, if I'm still alive and talking to you and happy between you people, that is only because of Vaidya Ashok Mishra ji, and he is of course a lifesaver for me, and even now also he's looking after my corona, and he's giving me his own medicines. I have not been taking any medicine out of other than what Vaidya is giving me, and more or less 80% now I've recovered. And today in the morning itself I had a talk with Vaidya, and he's saying that another 3-4 days and 5 days and you will be totally out of it.
Very good.
Very
We are
good.
thankful to him.
Thank you. Keep on taking the same medicines, whatever I have prescribed. And the last medicine which I have got is till Saturday. And Saturday I have to report him my condition and status and my state, and he will redo the medicine if at all required. Otherwise, he will repeat the same medicine. Whatever he thinks fit, he will give me the medicine, and I am strictly following that. By all means.
Sandeep ji, you are welcome. Sandeep ji, you are welcome.
संदीप जी is in a mute mode.
हाँ, अनम्यूट कर लीजिए संदीप जी, अनम्यूट करिए अपने आप को संदीप जी।
He cannot remain muted for long.
Yeah,
we know. अनम्यूट करिए। हाँ, हो गया। नमस्कार। आपको पता है मैं बिफोर टाइम में आने वाला बंदा हूँ मैं।
हाँ, नमस्कार डिंगरा जी।
नमस्कार संदीप भाई।
हाँ, पंकज जी नमस्कार, विवेक जी नमस्कार।
नमस्कार जी, नमस्कार भाई साहब।
वेलकम ऑल। बहादुर साहब, आपका भी म्यूट हुआ है प्लीज।
हाँ जी।
हाँ, नमस्कार सर, वेलकम। कैसी भाभी की तबीयत कैसी है सर? ठीक है अभी? शी इज बेटर?
ठीक है। हाँ, शी इज बेटर। वो विवेक जी ने बता दिया थोड़ा तरीका, तो थोड़ा बेटर हो गया।
मैंने इसीलिए आपसे कहा कि तुरंत बात कर लीजिए आप।
नहीं,
रात को क्या हो गया?
डिस्टर्ब था स्टमक।
अच्छा, ओके। आजकल बस वो जैसे ही लगता है कि तबीयत गड़बड़ हो गई उसी तरह।
मातो साहब, ये पब्लिकली मत बोलो, डॉक्टर साहब सुन रहे हैं, मेरे कान खींच लेंगे। डॉक्टर अशोक कुमार मिश्रा पेशेंट्स को पहले
आपने कहा था कि थोड़ा सा ये कोरोना ठीक हो जाए तो डॉक्टर साहब के पास चलेंगे।
जी।
हाँ, बिल्कुल आपने पहले ही बता दिया था ये।
Thank you very much.
We can start now.
Sir, Pankaj ji, sorry to interrupt you. मैं आपको मीटिंग स्टार्ट करने से पहले एक जरा सी छोटी सी बात वैद जी के बारे में बता दूं कि इज अ वेरी स्वीट गाय एंड मीठे मीठे में वो आपकी जो है वो पूरी बात आपको समझा देंगे एंड रेस्ट इट डिपेंड्स ऑन यू, आप उनको फॉलो करते हैं या नहीं करते।
राइट,
हाँ, अब आप शुरू करें।
राइट, थैंक यू।
थैंक यू।
Good evening, friends. Welcome to this webinar on the topic how to prevent mild COVID cases worsening to severe cases and alternate therapies. Friends, we are passing through very difficult times. In fact, we have recently lost spouses of Sanjay Gupta, Rotarian Sanjay Gupta, and Rotarian Rakesh Bindalji, and nephew of Rotarian Sanjay Jain. Our sincere heartfelt condolences to the bereaved families. May I request you to observe a minute of silence as a mark of respect for the departed souls.
कोई से भी हो।
Thank you. Please note that our past president, Rotarian Vijay Jain ji, is also affected with this deadly disease and is lying in a critical state at hospital. We pray for his speedy recovery. As everyone is aware, the deadly coronavirus wave is taking lives of so many people all across the world. We thought of organizing this webinar to understand the treatment protocols one may follow and how to avoid the disease getting out of control, resulting in hospitalization. Today we have Dr. Ashok Kumar Mishra, Rotarian and Rotarian Viveksheel Agarwal as our esteemed panelist. And also we have Dr. Anu Garg from Los Angeles, who may have joined us, who is guest of Rotarian Viveksheel ji. They will deliberate on the important subject of the day. Now I request my secretary Piyush Jain to introduce the panelists to the audience. Piyush bhai.
Yeah, thank you, Pradhan ji. About Vaidya Ashok Kumar Mishra ji. He completed his bachelor's degree from Sampuranan Sanskrit University, Varanasi. He started his practice in 80s. At that time, all his batchmates were practicing in modern medicine, but he chose to go for Ayurveda practice. 3 decades in practicing Ayurveda patients around the globe. Presently, he is running a pharmaceutical company named Anand Kaya Kalp Pharmacy Private Limited with the vision to serve pure, authenticated and research Ayurveda medicines. In the last year and current scenario of COVID-19, he has cured more than 2,000 families by his medication. And our another panelist for today is our own Rotarian Viveksheel Agarwal ji. He is a MA MPhil and a researcher and runs a stockbroking company by the name of Shri Parasaram Holdings Private Limited. He has been doing researches on alternative therapies for many years. He has developed new techniques on joint pain relief and muscle release techniques, and many members of our clubs have also got benefited with it. His videos on YouTube and Facebook are quite popular. For last more than a year, he has been helping COVID patients with knowledge on Ayurveda medicines, and almost 700 patients have been recovered with not a single complication. Some of these are members of our Rotary Club as well. Thank you.
We can start with Ashok Mishra ji first, then Vivek ji can continue.
विवेक जी आप पहले शुरू कर रहे हैं।
पंकज जी का आदेश है कि आप पहले आरंभ करें।
मैं पहले आरंभ करूं, ठीक है। शायद और लोग ज्वाइन करने वाले लेट हों।
विवेक जी ने आप थोड़ा इंट्रोडक्शन देके थोड़ा इसको जमा दीजिए ना मैम, थोड़ा सा
विवेक भाई
जी। बहुत तो चलिए, तो यदि आपका ऐसा आदेश है कि मैं आरंभ करूं So I will start the program. Friends, for the last 1 year, while looking at people dying, you know, somebody's audio has to be muted.
पीयूष आप सबको म्यूट कर दीजिएगा, सिर्फ
मैं सबको म्यूट कर
विवेक जी अनम्यूट कर लेंगे अपने आप को.
मैं कर लूंगा. All right. So I was saying कि for the last 1 year, looking at people dying just with 199.5 or 101 fever with a normal cough and cold, I was too surprised that we have seen so many viruses. Although this is quite contagious, so many people are getting affected every day, but why people are dying? So I've been doing researches since last year, reading about a lot of medications, a lot of things, what is happening, what are the test results of people. See, I will not speak about much about the history of the virus. Everybody knows it started from China. But what I want to tell you, that suddenly it disappeared in China. We must know why, how. To start with, I'll tell you, one of my friends was recently in China, and he had to take a visa on a negative COVID report. And when he landed over there, they did his own test. And they said, no, you need at least 3 days of medication. 3 days of medication. What medication? Not the medicine which we are giving. They gave him TCM. This is called traditional Chinese medicines. So 3 days they kept him in a hospital setting or some isolation setting, and they gave him all these Chinese medicines, herbal medicines. I must tell you, all this Chinese herbal medicine, this traditional medicine, is originated from India only, from Ayurveda. In 8th, 9th century, when our great rishis, great scholars traveled to China, taught them Ayurveda, and they cherished it. For somehow in India we lost it. We lost it not because we don't have knowledge. We lost it because our leaders did not promote it. We did not work. We followed West. So this is there is a report from WHO that 92% of people in China took traditional Chinese medicine. Nobody wants to believe that. I don't know why. They say China is bluffing. They want to sell their medicines. But we have to see. We must investigate. Today, China is not that close as we think. China is quite open. So many Indian students are living there. You can still travel there. You can talk to people. You must be having so many friends. So this is a matter to be seen, to be investigated. You see, in the last 1 year, we see 32 lakh people, 3.2 million died all around the world. But let me tell you, every year, almost 6 lakh people, 600,000 people die every year of influenza-like illness. That is a flu, that is a virus. So if 6 lakh people were dying, this year 32 lakh people are dying. My hypothesis is, my research says, because there was so much scare about coronavirus, that everybody was very aggressive about it, aggressive in treating it. So throughout the world, they were very aggressive. They were giving lot of trial medicine. It started with HCQ, then paracetamol, then azithromycin. But you see, in India, we did not follow the best practices in the world. We didn't see what America is doing, what Britain is doing, what France is doing, what other countries, let's forget China, what other countries are doing. You see, I was talking to a friend, doctor friend in London, who I share all my researches also. He told me for the last 15 days, we don't have he is working in a COVID facility for more than a year now, COVID hospital. He told me for the last 15 days, they don't have any COVID patient in their emergency. So how did they do it? उन्होंने ये कैसे किया कि 15 दिन से उनके पास कोई पेशेंट नहीं है? क्या हमने इसको देखने की कोशिश की? अगर मैं ये बात करता हूं कि हमारे यहाँ गलती हो रही है, तो कुछ लोग उस पर नाराज हो जाते हैं। चलिए आज मैं उस तरह से बात नहीं करूंगा, इस बार आपके उस इच्छा का सम्मान करते हुए। तो देखिए हमारे यहाँ व्हाट इज द हाइपोथेसिस, द वर्ल्ड ओवर द हाइपोथेसिस इज दैट virus is causing, is spreading fast, is causing so many things in our immunity. Then suddenly there is a cytokine storm, and then suddenly the virus travels to the lungs, and then lungs get impaired, and one gets difficulty in breathing, and then somebody collapses. Then his coagulation starts, then his breathing problem, oxygen, and then so many complications. That is the current hypothesis. आज ये माना जा रहा है कि वायरस आपको मार रहा है। जो हमने रिसर्चेस की, हमने ये देखा, what we have found that throughout the world everybody was concerned how to take care, how to save critically ill patients. They just forgot or just ignored the mild cases, that they did not think that we should stop mild cases worsening into severe cases. अगर हम पहली स्टेज पर, when the patient was in a mild stage, उसको बड़े mild symptoms थे, 100 फीवर था, 101 था, मैं भी 102 था, कोई ज्यादा फीवर नहीं होता 102, उस स्टेज पर अगर उसको हम संभाल लेते और उसको हम मॉडरेट या सीवियर स्टेट में जाने से बचा सकते, उस पर बहुत ज्यादा वर्ल्ड ओवर काम नहीं हुआ। ये एक गैप आप कहेंगे कि ये कैसे हो सकता है, बट यूएस के साइंटिस्ट ने भी लिखा कि हमने अपने माइल्ड पेशेंट्स को इग्नोर किया और हम सीवियर, अभी जनवरी में उसका एक रिसर्च आर्टिकल छपा है। तो अब मैं इंटरनेशनल बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस की आपसे बात कर रहा था। आप लंदन में मेरी लगातार बात हो रही है, वो कहते हैं कि हम जो पेशेंट्स होम सेटिंग्स में हैं, इनिशियल जब माइल्ड सिम्टम्स आते हैं तो हम उनको कोई मेडिकेशन नहीं दे रहे, सिर्फ और सिर्फ थोड़ी पैरासीटामोल, वो भी एक ज्यादा बुखार चढ़ने के बाद 101 से ऊपर लेटस से, और हर समय 3-4 घंटे में या 6 घंटे में पैरासीटामोल नहीं खिला रहे, और कोई भी एंटीबायोटिक, आइवरमेक्टिन, HCQ या जितनी आप हम लोग यहाँ पर मेड्रोल लेनी शुरू कर दिए हैं, वो सब नहीं दे रहे। तो ये रीजन है कि उनके यहाँ पेशेंट्स नहीं आ रहे अब इमरजेंसी में। यूएस में अभी डॉक्टर रवि गॉडसे टीवी पर आए हुए थे परसों, तो उन्होंने बोला कि पहले हफ्ते में हम कोई दवाई नहीं देते। अब मुझे ये नहीं पता, क्योंकि मैं उनसे क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछ सकता था कि क्या फीवर लोरिंग दवाई भी नहीं देते, बट उनकी ये स्टेटमेंट थी कि यूएस में कोई भी हम दवाई नहीं देते, राइट। बट मैं आपके सामने एक अजीब सी बात कहूंगा, जो आज ही मैं मॉर्निंग में आई वाज विद प्रोफेसर ऑफ गैस्ट्रोएंट्रोलॉजी, ही इज डॉक्टर अनूप सराया इन एम्स। आई वाज देयर फॉर 1.5 hours. He told me that science has lost touch with medicine. This was his words. कि साइंस क्या है, साइंटिफिक रिसर्चेस क्या हो रही हैं, पिछले 20, 25, 30 सालों में जो रिसर्चेस आई हैं, 2005 में आई, 2017 में आई, एज लेट एज जनवरी 2021 में आई, कोविड पर आई, वी आर नॉट लुकिंग इनटू इट. हाउ इज इट पॉसिबल? नाउ इफ यू स्टिल डिसएग्री विद मी, I tell you, do a short research yourself, a very simple research. Type on your Google, क्या whether fever should be lowered in virus infection. आप जैसे ही ये टाइप करेंगे कि क्या बुखार को उतारना वायरस इन्फेक्शन में ठीक है, you will be shocked. Every literature, every science, every journal, every scientist will say just one thing, कि अगर आपने फीवर को वायरस इन्फेक्शन में लोअर किया तो उससे ना सिर्फ बीमारी लंबी होगी, बिगड़ेगी, बल्कि मोर्टेलिटी भी बढ़ेगी, डेथ्स भी बढ़ेगी. इज इट नॉट अ कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन? कितनी बड़ी अजीब सी बात है कि एक तरफ सारा लिटरेचर आप देखेंगे, फोर्टिस हॉस्पिटल की वेबसाइट पर आप जैसे ही लिखेंगे इज फीवर बेनिफिशियल, वहां का एक पेज खुलेगा, सेकंड पैरा में लिखा है कि आपको फीवर लोअरिंग नहीं करनी, फीवर को नहीं नीचे लाना, आपको कोई एंटीपायरेटिक नहीं देनी, अगर एंटीपायरेटिक दोगे तो डेथ हो सकती है. तो दूसरी तरफ क्या हो रहा है कि थ्रू आउट द वर्ल्ड एवरी डॉक्टर इज गिविंग paracetamol or some other, maybe Meftol or other things, but mostly 99% is paracetamol. India में क्या हो रहा है? 650 high dose of paracetamol even without having a fever. 6 आवरली। और एक हमारे डॉक्टर साहब हैं, बड़े सीनियर डॉक्टर हैं, डॉक्टर अरविंद कुमार, मेदांता के पल्मोनरी चेस्ट के स्पेशलिस्ट है, चेयरमैन ऑफ दैट इंस्टीट्यूट। ही सेज एवरी
विवेक जी, we should not take the names of the doctors.
All right.
हम जनरल में बात करें तो बेटर रहेगा।
All right. So somebody is advising, some doctors are advising to take paracetamol 650 mg every 6 hours. Now, when I say, जब मैं आपको बता रहा हूं कि आपको फीवर नीचे नहीं लाना चाहिए, ये सब जगह लिखा है, तो इसके ऊपर जब हमने रिसर्च की तो ये पाया कि फीवर जो हमारी बॉडी का नेचुरल इम्यून रिस्पॉन्स है, उसको मैं थोड़ा सा आपको टेक्निकल जब तक नहीं बताऊंगा तो चीजें जो है ना क्लियर नहीं होंगी। देखिए, आपकी अपनी कन्विक्शन नहीं बनेगी तो आप ना मेरे कहने से, ना डॉक्टर अशोक कुमार मिश्रा के कहने से, ना किसी और के कहने से बात को समझेंगे। तो आपको मैं चाहता हूं कि आप अपने आप एजुकेट हो। तो फीवर जो आता है उसका मैं बहुत शॉर्ट में आपको समझा देता हूं कि हमारे सेल्स, जिनको मैक्रोफेजेस कहते हैं, जब कोई वायरस को आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं तो वो कुछ ऐसे साइटोकाइंस रिलीज करते हैं जिनमें से कुछ साइटोकाइन का काम होता है कि हमारे हाइपोथैलेमस यानी ब्रेन में जाकर फीवर को बढ़ाना। और फीवर अगर हमें 99 चाहिए तो हमारी बॉडी 99 फीवर बढ़ता है, हमें 102 चाहिए तो 102 बढ़ता है। ऐसा नहीं है कि फीवर बढ़ता जाएगा, फीवर एक जगह जाके स्टेबल हो जाएगा। और एक और आपको इंटरेस्टिंग बात बताता हूं कि जब फीवर चढ़ना होता है चाहिए बॉडी को, और आपका कमरा का वो कंड्यूसिव एटमॉस्फेयर नहीं है, आप बहुत तेज ठंडा रखकर बैठे हैं, तो आपको ठंड लगेगी, आप ब्लैंकेट मांगेंगे, आप कहेंगे मुझे और एक और ब्लैंकेट डाल दो जिससे कि फीवर राइज हो सके। और जैसे ही वो 101 या 102 या 103 जितना बॉडी को फीवर चाहिए, आपको वो चिल्स लगने बंद हो जाएंगे, ठंड लगनी बंद हो जाएगी। So what I am saying कि फीवर नेचुरल का बॉडी का नेचुरल इम्यून रिस्पॉन्स है। अब जब फीवर चढ़ जाता है तो दो काम होते हैं। एक होता है कि जो साइटोकाइन बॉडी ने रिलीज किए थे, जो हमारी मैक्रोफेजेस जो साइटोकाइन छोड़ रहे थे, जब हाई फीवर हो जाता है, आई एम सो सॉरी, दिस इज नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ कोविड, दिस इज बिकॉज ऑफ समथिंग एल्स। ओके, सो जो हमारे मैक्रोफेजेस साइटोकाइन छोड़ रहे थे वो फर्दर साइटोकाइन नहीं छोड़ते। अब क्या हो रहा है कि जब हम फीवर को लोअर कर देते हैं तो एक तरफ तो जो साइटोकाइन पहले छूटे थे वो भी बॉडी में एक्यूमुलेट हो रहे हैं, और हमारे मैक्रोफेजेस नए साइटोकाइन भी छोड़ते जा रहे हैं। तो उससे क्या हो रहा है, साइटोकाइंस की वहां एक्यूमुलेशन हो रही है, और जिसको हम कहते हैं कि साइटोकाइन स्टॉर्म आ गया। दूसरा, मैं इसको शॉर्ट में बताता हूं कि हम फीवर जो लोअर कर रहे हैं वो पैरासीटामोल से कर रहे हैं। पैरासीटामोल 1878 में किसी ने डिस्कवर की थी, और 1953 में इसका कमर्शियल प्रोडक्शन शुरू हुआ, तब से ये पैरासीटामोल दी जा रही है। और पैरासीटामोल के बारे में बचपन से आपको, हमको और इवन सारी मेडिकल कम्युनिटी को ये मालूम है कि ये बहुत इनोसेंट ड्रग है। इसको आप प्रेग्नेंट लेडीज को भी दे सकते हो, छोटे बच्चों को भी दे सकते हो। लगातार पैरासीटामोल के बारे में ये प्रचार है, और आप विश्वास नहीं करेंगे कि पैरासीटामोल का आज तक ह्यूमन ट्रायल नहीं हुआ। ह्यूमन ट्रायल का, हर मेडिसिन का ह्यूमंस के ऊपर ट्रायल किया जाता है कि इसका ह्यूमन बींग्स के डिफरेंट चीजों पर क्या असर आ रहा है, डिफरेंट हमारे जो भी बॉडी के चाहे इम्यूनिटी के चीजें हैं जो भी हैं। तो पैरासीटामोल का
एक सेकंड, मैं would request if you can continue in English because we have a Mr. Orion with us. He'll be comfortable if you speak in English, please. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay. Paracetamol has a depleting effect on GSH, and this is not what I am saying. This is told, researched by top medical scientists, published in top medical journals. So paracetamol, when it depletes GSH, your other there is an imbalance created. When GSH is depleted, the inflammation starts, the coagulation starts. So as you take repeated doses of paracetamol, repeated high strength doses of paracetamol, your GSH in the liver, in the lungs starts depleting and up to 90% it is depleted, and the oxidation starts. I hope our friend will be able to guide us further about it. So the major complications we are encountering today in the world is, one is cytokine storm, that is caused by fever lowering any medicine, maybe paracetamol, and the other is inflammation in the lungs. When you break the wall of the lungs, the wall of GSH, the protective wall of GSH in the lungs, the protective element, the antioxidant of our body, GSH, glutathione, when you lower it, when you deplete it, when you kill it, the imbalance starts, the oxidation process starts. इसको I will tell you something in Hindi. मान लीजिए आप लोहे को ओपन में छोड़ दें, जहां हवा भी लग रही है, बारिश भी लग रही है, उसमें जंग लगना शुरू हो जाएगा. अब आप क्या करते हैं, लोहे को उसके ऊपर पेंट की एक लेयर चढ़ाते हैं, जिससे उसमें ऑक्सीडेशन ना हो. सेम थिंग इज हैपनिंग कि हमारी बॉडी में भगवान ने एक जीएसएच एलिमेंट दिया है, ग्लूटाथियोन, जो हमारी बॉडी को ऑक्सीडेशन से बचाता है. अब अगर ऑक्सीडेशन की वो लेयर को हमने ही तोड़ दिया, देखिए क्या है कि हमारी बॉडी में हंड्रेड्स ऑफ थिंग्स है, आप एक या दो को ट्वीक करेंगे तो बाकी जगह इंबैलेंस आ जाएगा. तो दिस इज व्हाट इज हैपनिंग. तो ये सारा जो है, ये मैंने कोई एक्सपेरिमेंट्स कर लिए हैं, दिस इज ऑल रिटन इन टॉप साइंटिफिक जर्नल्स, राइट? So this is what is happening, and this is what is causing death. And we tried giving intravenous glutathione to some patients. It was tried in the US also. We tried in to our friend Mr. Vijay Jain also. In 3 days, he responded. We do not know whether in the hospital they are further continuing with the GSH or not, glutathione or not. But in the first 2 days, his saturation improved from 80 to 95. Piyush Jain ji knows it. Manoj Agrawal ji knows it. They have been reporting to me that his after glutathione and some herbal massage on his with some very good oils, which Dr. Ashok Mishra will tell us better, his oxygen saturation was better. Now, what we are doing on top of it, we are giving a lot of antibiotics. We are giving azithromycin and doxycycline. Mainly 2 antibiotics are being given in India. You will be shocked that there are only 2 cells in our body, in our immune system. One is B cells and one is T cells. B for Bombay and T for Tata. The B cell, create antibodies against a virus. The B cell releases antibodies against a virus, and the T cell kills the virus infected cells. Now there are only 2 cells. You will be shocked to know that azithromycin kills the T cells and the doxycycline kills the B cells. Now, when I say all this, you say you are talking against doctors. No, dear, it is science. It is not what I am saying. These are the latest researches which we should read. We have to protect our families, our friends. We have to protect all the world. We have to protect people from dying. So why should not we speak about it? I am sharing all the researches with you. I have shared all my material studies with you people. Complete research. I have shared it with hundreds of doctors. I have shared it with ICMR, Indian Council for Medical Research. I have been sending reminders to them. Please do read it. I shared it with a doctor, senior doctor. I will not take name. Dr. Kabra. She is in Switzerland, Geneva, and she read it and she said it makes total sense. It is not a waste. You can't throw it in a dustbin. So azithromycin, doxycycline, both are killing our immunity, because every antibiotic has multiple functions. Till 2000, we didn't know that our gut, our stomach has so many microbes. And in 2005, we were able to have those tests available with us to check what is the effect of our medicines on microbes. So then we came to know that these antibiotics have a damaging effect, depleting effect on our immunity. So, but when the latest studies are there, Why our medical system, the medicine, the prescribing doctors are not ready to read it? We have to tell them. You see, they are too busy. These days, every doctor is sleeping 11, 12 o'clock, getting up early morning. They don't have time. We have to do the researches. We have to take it to them. We have to take it to the government. If we have identified something. Now, आज की डेट में क्या हो रहा है? हल्की सी खांसी आई और आपको घर में बिठाकर मेडोल देना शुरू कर दिया, आपको स्टेरॉइड्स दिए जा रहे हैं. सारी दुनिया बोल रही है कि ये घर बैठे स्टेरॉइड देना बहुत डेंजरस है. कितने घर बैठे पहले जैसे हम और चीजें दे रहे थे, अभी जो स्टेरॉइड्स देते हैं, अब आपके सामने आ रहा है ना वो ब्लैक फंगल, पता नहीं क्या मैक्रो काइंड ऑफ नाम है, मुझे नहीं पता क्या है, आई एम नॉट ए मेडिकल स्टूडेंट. तो हमें ये सोचना होगा कि क्या हम अपने पेशेंट्स का केस खराब तो नहीं कर रहे. मैंने 700 पेशेंट्स को ट्रीट किया, जबकि मैं मेडिकली क्वालिफाइड नहीं हूं. बहुत रिस्क लिया. अगर किसी को कुछ हो जाता तो मेरे को हथकड़ियां लग सकती थी, मेरे ऊपर केस हो सकते थे. पर ठीक है, डॉक्टर अशोक मिश्रा जी से मैं गाइडेंस लेता रहता हूं, उनकी मेडिसिन लोगों को देता हूं. एक को भी सांस की प्रॉब्लम नहीं आई. डॉक्टर साहब के पास हजारों पेशेंट जाते, किसी को सांस की प्रॉब्लम नहीं आई. कितने पेशेंट्स आयुर्वेदिक हॉस्पिटल्स में ट्रीट हुए, आप कोई केस खराब नहीं सुनेंगे. तो मैं जब ये चैलेंज देता हूं कि आपको हर पेशेंट पर 10,000 रुपए का इनाम दूंगा जिसको सांस की प्रॉब्लम आई हो और उसने ये मेडिसिन शुरू में ना ली हो, तो मैं आपको जगाना चाहता हूं कि आप ये देखिए कि ये प्रॉब्लम हमारी एग्रेसिव मेडिकेशन से हो रही है. उन मेडिकेशन से जिनका वायरस पर कोई बेनिफिट नहीं है, बट हम उनको क्यों खिला रहे हैं हमें भी नहीं पता. You ask a doctor a simple question: what is the benefit of giving paracetamol or any antipyretic? What is the benefit of lowering the fever? They will say no, just a comfort to the patient. So, दो दिन के डिस्कम्फर्ट से बचने के लिए हम अपनी जान की बाजी लगा देंगे. तो ये सारी चीजें हमें समझने की चाहिए. और आज देखिए, आज वैक्सीनेशन हो रही है. आपको बताऊं, अगर वैक्सीन के बाद भी हमने फीवर को इंड्यूस किया, एंटीबॉडीज इंड्यूस करना चाह रहे हैं, और उसके बाद भी हम वही गलती करेंगे जो हम वैक्सीन से पहले और लोगों में कर रहे हैं. और बहुत सारे केसेस इवन डॉक्टर्स के जो फुल्ली वैक्सीनेटेड हैं, जो 2-2 महीने 1.5 महीना उनको वैक्सीन, सेकंड वैक्सीन लगाए हो चुका, उनके भी केसेस खराब हो रहे हैं. उनको भी सिमिलर प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, उनको भी हॉस्पिटलाइज होना पड़ रहा है और उनकी भी डेथ्स हो रही हैं. अभी डॉक्टर शेखर अग्रवाल चले गए, डॉक्टर के अग्रवाल IMA के प्रेसिडेंट रहे हुए, और वो आज वेंटिलेटर पर आ गए हैं. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि वैक्सीन हमें पूरी प्रोटेक्शन देगी. वायरस भी आएगा. मैं वैक्सीन के खिलाफ नहीं हूं, वायरस भी आएगा. वायरस स्प्रेड भी करोगे, वायरस से फीवर और सिम्टम्स भी आएंगे. बट अगर हमने वही प्रोटोकॉल चलाए रखा, वो हमने ट्रीटमेंट प्रोटोकॉल चेंज नहीं किया, तो हम उसी ट्रैप में फंस जाएंगे. उसके लिए वार्न करना, उसके लिए लोगों को बताना, अगर मेरे पास कुछ नॉलेज है तो मेरा धर्म है. अब सवाल है, बहुत लोग पूछते हैं कि वे आउट क्या है, करें क्या. तो सवाल ये है कि जब एक बीमारी को हमारी इम्यूनिटी ने लड़ना है, तो हम इम्यूनिटी को स्ट्रॉन्ग करें, उसको सपोर्ट करें. Why do you want to kill the immunity? आप ये क्यों चाहते हैं, सोच रहे हैं कि बॉडी हैज गॉन मैड? नो, बॉडी इतनी इंटेलिजेंट है कि उसने सारा बैलेंस करने का सिस्टम बना रखा है, सब साइकिल है. सो बॉडी इज नॉट मैड, और आप उसको सपोर्ट करिए, इट विल ऑटोमेटिकली किल द वायरस. इट विल, आपको ट्रीटमेंट बॉडी नहीं करना है. फीवर बॉडी का एक बीमारी का सिम्टम नहीं है, फीवर बीमारी की ट्रीटमेंट भी है. उसको जब आप सप्रेस करेंगे, जब आप इम्यूनिटी को छेड़ेंगे, जब आप डायरेक्टली बी सेल्स और टी सेल्स को टारगेट करके किल करेंगे, तो आप ये नहीं सोच सकते कि आप अपने पेशेंट को बचा पाएंगे. जो लोग इस तरह से मेडिकेशन करेंगे, बिलीव मी, दे आर बोर्डिंग अ ट्रेन विच इज बाउंड टू मीट एन एक्सीडेंट. वो ट्रेन जिसका आगे जाकर एक्सीडेंट होना है, उस ट्रेन में हम चढ़ जाएंगे. There may be 400 people traveling in a train, and only maybe 10 die, 20 die, 40 die. Some people, break their bones. But this is an accident-prone area. Believe me, trust me. So, हमें अपने होमोस्टैटिस बैलेंस को नहीं डिस्टर्ब करना है. हमें चाइना के एग्जाम्पल को स्टडी करना है, हमने वर्ल्ड की बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस को स्टडी करना है। और आयुर्वेद इतना बड़ा हमारे पास एक ज्ञान का भंडार है, और उसको छोड़कर हम केवल वेस्ट की नकल, और वो भी इतनी एग्रेसिवली कर रहे हैं। वेस्ट भी नहीं जो कर रहा है, डॉक्टर निशित सूद जो लंदन वाले हैं, उन्होंने कहा कि ये जो प्रैक्टिस है एलोपैथी है, ये इंडियन एलोपैथी है, ये वर्ल्ड की एलोपैथी नहीं है। वर्ल्ड में इस तरह से एलोपैथिक ट्रीटमेंट नहीं हो रही है जो आप कर रहे हो। जिस तरह से आप घर बैठे स्टेरॉइड खिला रहे हो, इस तरह से नहीं खिलाए जाते। इससे बहुत ज्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेशन आने वाली है आप लोगों को। तो आयुर्वेद के होते हुए, होम्योपैथी के होते हुए, सिद्ध मेडिसिन साउथ इंडिया में इतनी पॉपुलर है, दिल्ली में भी कुछ अच्छे वैद्य हैं, तो इसको छोड़कर इससे हम सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं। इससे बड़े आराम से हम अपने, इसके कोई वायरस इतना डिफिकल्ट नहीं है जितना इसको स्केयर के कारण बन गया। और मैं चाहूंगा कि हम लोग अपनी पुरानी साइंसेस को दोबारा से पढ़ें, देखें, उनकी शरण में जाएं। मैं तो ये कहता हूं कि अगर आप खाली पानी भी पीते रहेंगे, मेरी गारंटी है आपको कुछ नहीं होगा, आपको किसी को सांस की प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगी। बट ऐसा नहीं है, जब हमारे पास अच्छा एक मेडिसिन का सिस्टम है तो क्यों नहीं हम उसको फॉलो करेंगे। तो इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं अपना ये आज का बंद करता हूं। तो ओवर टू यू पंकज जी। थैंक यू।
थैंक यू विवेक जी। आपने इस विषय पे काफी डेलिब्रेशन किया, बट आपने ये नहीं बताया कि व्हाट शुड बी द ट्रीटमेंट प्रोटोकॉल वन शुड फॉलो, वेदर इट शुड बी ओनली एलोपैथिक or whether it is going to be Ayurvedic or maybe a combination of allopathic and Ayurvedic. What should be the treatment we should follow? Though we cannot force the treatment to anybody, it will be anybody's choice who is available in this forum or who may be listening to maybe in a later stage. But one can decide the treatment protocol for herself or for himself based on the basis of their best judgment. But at least you can advise what should be the treatment protocol one should follow.
No, I told you that whatever we do, we have to support our immunity. We have to first see whether the medicine we are taking is disturbing our immunity, whether it is supporting our immunity. If a medicine is killing your immunity, is suppressing your immunity, we should not take that. So you will say what to do? Vitamins लीजिए, take vitamins, take zinc. I'm not against it, but not in so much quantities. If you take zinc continuously in high quantity, it will kill you. If you take vitamin D repeatedly, it will kill you. So you have to see which medicine. I am not an allopathic doctor. I cannot tell you what medicine you should take. I can only tell you avoid the medication which is suppressing your immunity, which is modulating your immunity. Immunity को change ही कर देते हैं. दिस इज नॉट डन, ये नहीं चल पाएगा ज्यादा लंबा। तो आपको ये सोचना है कि हमने इम्यूनिटी को कैसे सपोर्ट करना है, खराब नहीं होने देना है। आयुर्वेद में क्या करना चाहिए उसके बारे में डॉक्टर अशोक कुमार मिश्रा से हम जानना चाहेंगे। आज बहुत से डॉक्टर्स भी गिलोय दे रहे हैं, मैंने देखा है, आयुष क्वाद दे रहे हैं, मैंने देखा है उनके। यस प्लीज मिस्टर,
थैंक यू विवेक जी। नाउ डॉक्टर अशोक मिश्रा जी सेलिब्रेट करेंगे सब्जेक्ट के ऊपर, उसके बाद में फिर हम क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशन जो है वो।
I think our friend from Israel is want to ask a question.
जी,
Mr. Oren, would you like to ask something, or should we continue with the next speaker and then you can put on your question?
It's not a question. I wanted to add to what he said. Okay, but
Okay.
Give me time when the time comes, and I'll.
Yeah. So first we go to Dr. Ashok Kumar Mishra. नमस्कार, अपना संबोधन शुरू करें।
जी, आयुर्वेद के हिसाब से हम लोग चिकित्सा में वायु, पित्त और कफ 3 चीजों के ऊपर काम करते हैं। और वो तीनों चीजें किस प्रकार के रोग हैं, अब कोरोना के लिए हम लोग इसको कफ की श्रेणी में रखते हैं। अगर हम कफ की श्रेणी में रखते हैं और कफ कारक भोजन जिन लोगों के घरों में खाया जा रहा है, जिनमें चावल, दही, कोल्ड ड्रिंक, आइसक्रीम्स हो गए, केला, अमरूद, मूली हो गई, ये सब चीजें जो खाई जा रही हैं, ये हम इनवाइट कर रहे हैं इस वायरस को। वो आपके पास डेवलप अच्छे से कर सकता है। तो सबसे पहली चीज तो वही बचाव चाहिए कि हमें अपनी प्रकृति को कुछ ना कुछ बदलना है। अगर आप अपनी प्रकृति को नहीं बदल रहे तो आपके पास दिक्कत आनी ही है। ठीक है। और लक्षणों में जो है वो खांसी, जुकाम, बुखार, पेट दर्द या लूज मोशन होना, ये एक सामान्य रूप से दिखाई दे रहा है, ठीक है। और अगर कहीं कंजेशन की गिनती है तो वो भी दिखाई दे रहा है। इन सब चीजों को कंट्रोल करने वाली गिनती में हम लोग अगर आयुर्वेदिक पद्धति के हिसाब से, हमारे यहाँ सबसे पहले यही कहा जाता है, सामूलम सर्वरोगाणाम आमित्य विधीयते, आहारस्य रसाशेषो न पक्वाग्नि लाघवात्। अगर आहार पच करके आपके शरीर को ठीक से नहीं मिल रहा तो आपका शरीर स्वस्थ नहीं रह सकता। अगर पेट ठीक से साफ नहीं हो रहा तो भी आपका शरीर ठीक से नहीं रह सकता। इसका सीधा सा मतलब है कि आपकी इम्यूनिटी वीक हो रही है। अगर आपकी इम्यूनिटी वीक हो रही है तो आपके शरीर में रोग की उत्पत्ति होनी है। क्या रोग की उत्पत्ति होनी है, किस रोग से, किस वायरस से कौन सा आएगा, ये सब चीजें एक अलग अलग विषय हो सकता है, लेकिन होना है। तो सबसे पहले अपनी इम्यूनिटी को बढ़ाने के लिए हमें काम करना चाहिए अच्छे से। और उस सब के लिए क्या कहलाता है, हम लोगों के यहाँ वायु, पित्त और कफ, ये तीनों चीजें समान मात्रा में रहती है। जब इन तीनों में से कुछ कम या बढ़ती होता है तो रोग की उत्पत्ति होती है। बड़ा सामान्य सी चीज है कि हम लोग पल्स रीडिंग करते हैं और कहते हैं कि आपके पास ये है, तो उसका कारण सिर्फ इतना ही है कि हमने उसमें वायु, पित्त और कफ तीनों चीजों को नोट करने की कोशिश की। किस चीज के कितना कम होने से कौन सा रोग की उत्पत्ति है, ये एक लंबी चीज व्याख्या हो गई, उस पर तो शायद हम व्याख्या नहीं कर पाएंगे यहाँ इतनी समय में। उस सारे के साथ में जब हम उस गिनती को देखते हैं कि वायु, पित्त और कफ कितना है, उसके हिसाब से ट्रीटमेंट की गिनती की जाती है। और जितनी चीजें भी हम लोग भोजन में खाते हैं वो सभी की सभी चीजें इन तीनों में से कोई एक तत्व अधिक देती है। जब वो अधिक देती है और पहले से ही हमारे शरीर में वही तत्व अधिक है तो क्या होगा, निश्चित रूप से उसके अंदर वो, अब आप सपोज कोई आटा गूंद रहा है, 1 किलो आटा है, एक निश्चित परिणाम में जो है उसको उतना जल डालना होगा उसमें गूंदने के लिए। लेकिन ऐसा अगर अधिक हो जाए तो क्या करेंगे आप, बैलेंस करने के लिए आपको और आटा डालना है। उसी तरीके से हम लोग भी उस ट्रीटमेंट प्रोसेस में इस सारे के साथ काम करने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं, जिसको आप जो है दिया। तो उस सारे बढ़ने में जो कोरोना की गिनती में है, उस सारे में भूख का नहीं लगना सबसे बड़ी चीज है। और उसके बाद कफ, खांसी, बुखार, इन सब का बढ़ जाना, ये मुख्य लक्षण है। और ये सब कफ की वृद्धि के कारण ही हो रहे हैं। कफ की वृद्धि को रोका जाए, वो कैसे रोका जाए, कफ कारक जितनी वस्तुएं हैं वो सब चीजें खाने में बंद कर देनी चाहिए। और जो चीजें आयुष्पाथ का सेवन करने के लिए कहा गया, आयुष्पाथ बहुत सारे लोगों ने पीछे प्रचार भी किया कि शायद बहुत गर्म होता है इसलिए नहीं लेना है, इससे गर्मी से ये नुकसान हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा। लेकिन 2 समय में देने के बाद मैंने किसी पेशेंट में ये नहीं देखा कि कोई नुकसान हुआ। हो सकता है कुछ लोग ऐसे भी रहे हो जिन्होंने 10-10 बार दिन में काढ़ा पी लिया, तो उन सब चीजों को उन्हें नहीं करना चाहिए, एक लिमिट में करना चाहिए। और क्या क्या करना चाहिए इस विषय पर मैं आने की गिनती करूंगा। सबसे पहली चीज तो मास्क लगा करके अपने आप को बचाना रखना ज्यादा अच्छा जरूरी है, हाथ धोते रहना चाहिए, ठीक है। और उसके अलावा च्यवनप्राश का सेवन नित्य करना ही चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर आपके शरीर की इम्यूनिटी कहीं भी किसी भी कारण से वीक पड़ती है तो आप लड़ने में सक्षम नहीं होंगे। जो लोग डायबिटिक हैं वो केवल आंवले का पाउडर लेकर के भी काम चला सकते हैं, त्रिफला का प्रयोग करके भी चला सकते हैं, वो भी उतना ही काम करेगा। इस सारे के अलावा आपको गर्म तरल पदार्थ, जिसमें जल भी हो सकता है, आपका सूप भी हो सकता है, कुछ और भी पेय पदार्थ जो भी आप लोग समझते हो अपने योग्य, उसको आप ले सकते हैं, लेकिन गर्म चाहिए, ठंडा नहीं। ठंडा पेय पदार्थ होगा तो निश्चित रूप से आपको नुकसान की गिनती लाएगा। उसके बाद गोल्डन मिल्क की गिनती कही गई, तो दूध में हल्दी का प्रयोग या गाय का दूध प्रयोग करना बहुत अच्छा फायदेमंद होता है। इस सारे को हम लोग रोज प्रयोग कर रहे हैं और उनका रिजल्ट उनको दिखाई देता है। हल्का फुल्का आपके पास जुकाम है, नजला है, जो कोविड नहीं भी है, उसको भी आप केवल हल्दी पी करके भी ठीक कर सकते हैं। ठीक है जी। तो उस सारे के साथ में आपको ठंडी चीजें बिल्कुल नहीं लें, ताजा गर्म संतुलित भोजन करें, ये सारी चीजें चाहिए होंगी। ठीक है। और भाप का सेवन करना, सांस लेने में दिक्कत अगर आती है तो अजवाइन डाल करके भाप लें, और नहीं तो सामान्य रूप से भाप लें, कुछ नहीं चाहिए उसके अंदर। ये बहुत अच्छे और सफल प्रयोगों में से है कि जिस किसी को भी दिया गया है ऑक्सीजन की जरूरत नहीं पड़ी है। आप भाप निरंतर लेते रहें और 6 से 8 घंटे की नींद को जरूर पूरा करना चाहिए, और मध्यम रूप से व्यायाम करने की गिनती भी चाहिए। अब इस सारे में आयुर्वेद की एक सीधी विधा है कि डेली सरसों का तेल नाक में डालना चाहिए, और इस सारे प्रयोग में जितना आप ठीक है जी। और जो लोग मधुमेह या ब्लड प्रेशर के रोगी हैं, उनको आपको जो है वो पहले मधुमेह और ब्लड प्रेशर को भी कंट्रोल में रखना ही चाहिए। ठीक है जी। अब इसके अलावा आपको मेडिकेशन के विषय में अगर आप कहूं, तो इस सारे में जिन लोगों को दस्त की गिनती आ रही है, उन लोगों को बेल का सेवन भी करना चाहिए। बेल इन दिनों में परेशानी का कारण जितने भी लोग होते हैं उस सारे में दिखाई देता है। ठीक है जी। और इस विषय पर दवा के रूप में कुछ चीजों का प्रयोग निरंतर किया जा रहा है हमारे यहाँ, और उसमें गिलोय, घनसत्व, आयुष्पात, अश्वगंधा, च्यवनप्राश, सितोप्लादी चूर्ण, मृत्युंजय रस, त्रिभुवन कीर्ति रस, संजीवनी बटी, ये सारी चीजें हम लोग अच्छे से प्रयोग कर रहे हैं, और इनके रिजल्ट से आपके पास इम्यूनिटी इतने अच्छे से डेवलप होती है कि आप आराम से लड़ सकते हैं, और कहीं पर भी कोई परेशानी नहीं हुई। ठीक है जी। और इस विषय में कुछ आप कहना चाहें, पूछना चाहें तो मैं जवाब दूं।
धन्यवाद वैद्य जी।
जी।
अब क्वेश्चन आंसर हम बाद में करते हैं, पहले एक बार मिस्टर ऑरेंज जो इजराइल से आए हुए हैं उनकी बात सुन करते हैं, तो उसके बाद में क्वेश्चन आंसर कर लेंगे। मिस्टर ऑरेंज, welcome to the forum now, and can we hear from you?
Yes, I'm here. Okay, so essentially, from the little bits of pieces that I've picked up amongst the Hindi, okay, I can tell you guys one thing, okay. First and foremost, I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert in any kind of field of medicine, okay. And just like everybody, we did our own research, and with some history and background in chemistry and engineering, okay. I've actually come to a point since we talked last, Pankaj, that I've treated 7 people successfully using a protocol that is basically based on an American group called the Critical Care Alliance. Okay. How can we share a screen, Pankaj?
Piyush, can you help with it?
Yeah, there is a button down. Button on the bottom.
There's a share screen button.
Host disabled participant screen sharing. Okay.
Can you allow it?
Yeah, one second. Just a second, I'll allow it.
So essentially, the protocol, just like the doctor told us before, okay, is a protocol that is based not on killing microbes, but more on strengthening the immune system, okay? We strengthen the immune system, and you touched on vitamin D, and that can be harmful you at high doses, okay? Vitamin D is one of 4 fat-soluble vitamins, which is A, D, E, and K. And usually these 4 vitamins work synergetically. When one of these vitamins is out of balance to the other, it can cause pretty bad effects on the body, okay? In some cases, you have calcium coming out of the bones instead of going into the bones, and calcium being put into your soft tissues, okay? And these are a variety of issues which are not the subject of this discussion here right now, okay? So it is always it's always important to look at vitamins and any other supplementations that we take, okay, not as an isolated material. Our body is not really designed for isolated materials. We are designed to eat whole foods. And when we supplement, okay, when we use any supplement, we need to try get as close to the whole food scenario as we can, okay? So if we supplement on vitamin D, okay, we also need to include within that formula E, K, and D, and A. A, D, E, and K together, okay? And then we need to keep in mind that these are fat-soluble vitamins, and in order to absorb them, you can't just drink them down with a glass of water. You will take in probably about 5% of what you took, and it will make very, very expensive, you know what. Okay, so we need to take them with butterfat. We need to take them with coconut fat. Any saturated fat will increase absorption of these vitamins to nearly 70%. Okay, so that's the vitamin section, all right? Now, none of the protocols that I've used, okay, and I can't say I've got that much experience, but I've had the opportunity, once I took the decision to take responsibility, to treat 7 people personally. And in all 7 cases, okay, by strengthening the immune system, they pulled through, okay? Some of them were elderly, had comorbid conditions, okay, and we're not in a good place to begin with besides the COVID, and they still pulled through, okay? And unfortunately in Israel, we do not have the use of ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine. As a matter of fact, they don't even exist on the medical directory here in Israel. It's just not part of the medicine baskets here. And I've treated these people basically with melatonin, vitamins, okay? I've used, instead of hydroxychloroquine,
Hello?
I've used, hello? Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, please go ahead.
I've used quercetin with zinc, okay? And quercetin, just like hydroxychloroquine, is not really the effective medicine. The effective medicine is zinc. Zinc is what prevents viral replication inside your cell, but zinc cannot get into your cell on its own. It needs another material to carry it across the cell membrane, okay? That material is called ionophore. And the 2 best ionophores that have been in the news and have had some kind of recognition, okay, is hydroxychloroquine and quercetin. Quercetin is a natural product, okay? I don't know what it's called in Hindi, okay? Pankaj, I can send you the name at a later stage, and you can find out what it's called in Hindi. And if gotten early enough, okay, then viral replication will be hampered inside the cell. Now, one thing I did see in all the cases of COVID that I've come across, okay, is that once a patient starts deteriorating, the deterioration is really, really quick, okay? And I've seen the the deterioration where oxygen saturation goes down from around 91, 92 to onset of the disease, okay, right down to 80 within 24 hours. And you need to do whatever you can and really, really aggressively, okay, to treat people before their condition deteriorates. What I mean by that is, as doctors, okay, and the Frontline Alliance stresses this point again and again, okay, as doctors, don't think that just because a patient is in good shape right now, you can hold on treatment or treat mildly, okay? They see it as, here's your opportunity to hit that patient with as much treatment as you can before he gets worse, okay? Because once he gets worse, to pull him out, okay, is 10 times more difficult, if not impossible. So we need to hit it early, and you need to hit the patient hard right at the beginning, okay? And I think once the focus starts with early treatment protocols rather than late treatment protocols, you'll see that a lot more lives will be saved, a lot less people will hit the emergency room, a lot less people will need intubation and artificial oxygen into their lungs, which destroys the lungs. It completely destroys the lungs, especially after cytokine storm, okay? To put in high-level oxygen at pressure into the lungs, okay, completely oxidizes the membrane that is really 1 or 2 cells thick, across which that oxygen and carbon dioxide are exchanged, okay? And once that membrane is destroyed, your lungs are gone, it's finished, okay? And you can see that once people go on intubation, the chances of them coming out is maybe 20, 30%, because that intubation kills them in itself. I understand that the doctors don't see a choice, okay, but there is choices up there. There is lots of choices. If I got to share screen?
Yeah, now you can try, you can share the screen.
Okay. This is a part of the Frontline Critical Care Alliance, okay? I will give this address over here to Pankaj, and he can share it all with you. This is for doctors. This is for private people. A lot of these treatments in here are available to everybody. You don't need to be a doctor. You don't need to use, okay, IV or intramuscular injection to use some of these medications, okay? If you have a nebulizer, okay, you can put a lot of these drugs into a nebulizer and breathe them right in, okay? And they work. Melatonin is available across the counter without a prescription in most countries. I know that India has ivermectin, okay? And ivermectin is a big part of this. It plays a very important role, okay, in preventing COVID from getting worse. Let's move this out of the way here. Ivermectin worked in many, many ways, okay? Let me see where it is. Here we go. So even if India has changed focus and moved away from pushing ivermectin and rather pushed vaccination, okay, I want you to have a look at this, because ivermectin, in every bit of research that I've read, and believe me, over this last year, I've read so much research, my eyes are gone mad, okay? And you can see the mechanisms here. Ivermectin, let's go with the mouse. Ivermectin mechanism with COVID-19 inhibits binding at spike. If a virus can't bind to the host cell, it cannot replicate, okay? if a virus loses transport to a cell, it cannot replicate. It inhibits viral unloading and viral replication. Okay, it has so many useful ways and mechanisms that help in prevent COVID. Okay, another way to I'm kind of jumping because I'm sorry, Pankaj, I did not prepare for this talk. I only got word of it today. Okay.
Yeah.
So things come into my head, I'm just spewing them out. If any one of you have a nebulizer, and I can show you a nebulizer, it's literally a mask you put on with a compressor that takes a liquid medicine and converts it into something that you can breathe into your lung. Okay. And I've prepared people with a solution of 1% hydrogen peroxide. It sounds a little bit crazy, but it's part of a treatment protocol called oxidative therapies, okay? By pushing oxidative material into your body, like ozone, like hydrogen peroxide, and there's a couple of others, okay? We actually stimulate a very strong immune response, okay? And if the immune system is hampered, it will kickstart the immune system. Even if the immune system is not so strong, it will actually stimulate the immune system to create T cells and to create B cells, okay? And together with material like melatonin, okay, which has a binding lock on a T cell. It can actually connect to a T cell, all right? And together they work as a team and they're a lot more effective. I've also told Pankaj on the last patient that I've had, okay, and she didn't take any of my medication. Somebody offered her a natural oil, and I gave you those names, didn't I, Pankaj?
Yeah, you gave the names, and I think in India it's called as Loban, and I think one more chemical. I can tell the panelists later.
Okay. And this lady is the mother of a friend, and her saturation levels were down in the 70s. She was dying, okay? And her daughter, who didn't want to give her my medication because she didn't know me, got this oil from a friend of hers and said, try it, okay? And she did. And 3 hours after this first dose, saturation levels went from like high 70s into the 90s, okay? After 3 hours. So that is an alternative therapy, which I'm sure these plants they originate in India just about, okay? And they're part of your medication. They're part of your medicine. Use them, okay? They work. They really, really work. Anything else? I'll share whatever I can with Pankaj. You guys are all welcome to look at it. There's a wealth of information there. There's just no time here to cover everything, you know.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Arun, for your deliberation on this subject. And now the forum is open. What I could understand from all three panelists was that we have to increase the immunity. And that plays the major part in preventing the virus to take control of the body and go out of control. So we need to build our immunity by taking whatever is available in allopathic and Ayurvedic so that our immunity is strong, so that we don't get it at the first instance. And if we get it, then we have to overcome it as quickly as possible before it turns to mild or moderate to then serious. So we have to cover it when it's in the mild stage. Now the forum is open for a question and answer to all the three panelists. One can start asking one by one. Thank you.
We had Dr. Arya also, no? If she would like to say something.
Vivekji, Dr. Arya is there?
Dr. Anu Garg was supposed to join, but I don't think she has joined as yet.
Okay. So then we can proceed with the question answer session or any suggestions from any of the attendees here.
Pankaj ji, good evening. I am Jitendra Nanda this side.
Welcome Jitendra ji. Namaskar. How are you?
नमस्कार जी, मैं कुछ पॉइंट इसमें ऐड करना चाहता हूँ.
Yeah.
वो ये है कि देखो मेरी बैकग्राउंड में आई हैव बीन ऑलवेज फॉलोअर ऑफ द नेचुरोपैथी. और लास्ट ईयर जून के मंथ में I was probably the first Rotarian who got the COVID.
Jitendra ji, agar aap, if you can say in English, so our panelist from Mr. Oren can also understand.
Okay.
And I would request Vivek, Piyush to mute everybody.
So I got COVID last year in the month of June.
Jitendra ji, you can unmute yourself and then speak. We have muted everybody else.
Okay, sorry. I'm Jitendra Nanda this side. I got COVID last year in the month of June, and I am a strong believer of the naturopathy. So last year when I got the COVID, a day later, probably I saw one of the video of Vivek Shilji, and I contacted him. Before that, I was in touch with another friend, doctor, whom I consulted, and he said, your age and your, borderline sugar, I advise you to get admitted immediately. Don't even wait for it. But second day when I spoke to Vivek ji, he strongly told me not to take action of getting admitted in hospital at all. So he suggested me 5 things to take. One was regarding the Kasmardan was there, and one was the Cytopaladi was there, then Avleva was there. So one was aloe culp was there. Another was for the fever. So I immediately, without wasting even an hour, I sent my guy and picked up the medicine and started immediately. So pranayam was another thing which I was doing it. And of course, I did not stop the allopathic medicine also, which one was recommended by doctor was HCQ 400, which after taking one tablet, I stopped it immediately. So I was in fever for almost about 10-12 days time, and maintained my oxygen somewhere between 94, 95. And also one thing I'd like to add is one day I got my figure of the oxygen was at 88. I did not panic. I immediately started my exercise, and after 10 days, 10 minutes again, I took the reading. It was again back to 94, 95. So I suggest and advise that having experienced the, the medication which is suggested, and what Dr. Ashokji also mentioned is, I've been putting mustard oil in the nostrils every day, rather twice a day. It is actually recommended 3 or 4 times a day, but even if you do twice a day, I'm sure it is going to affect. It is going to be beneficial. I mean, this is what I thought. I must add into the whatever discussion has happened. Thank you.
Thank you, Jitendra ji. Any other question, suggestion from the attendees?
Pankaj ji, I would like to ask something.
Yeah, please go ahead.
My question is basically to all 3 panelists today, including Pankaj, your friend. I just missed his name. You see,
Mr. Oren from Israel.
Mr. Oren as well. You see the kind of panic it has been created in media during this last 2.5 months. How do you advise people to keep patients when they know on the 3rd and 4th day, patient might be getting admitted in the hospital and he might get worsen. So general understanding is that Ayurveda or homeopathy is a slow reacting process which takes time, for which you need to have a lot of time. So how do you advise, even the theory, of panic basically?
May
Yeah, to all three of you.
may I say something?
Yeah, sure.
Please go ahead.
Dr. Anu Garg from California has just joined. It is, I think, 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the morning. Welcome, Dr. Anu Garg. You can unmute yourself. And I would like Dr. Anu Garg, being a medical specialist, working as a practitioner, practicing doctor, to reply to this question.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome,
it's a pleasure.
welcome, Dr. Garg.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure being here, given the opportunity to share my experiences of, how I understood what COVID does and what could be done to the patients to make it better. So number one thing is that actually I understood what COVID is doing to me because I practice Sahaj Yoga meditation. And I understand Ayurveda from a little depth because of being a Sahaj Yogi. So, under the Sahaj Yoga, what happens is you have energy which is awakened, and under the light of the energy, you're able to feel what happens. So when I got COVID, I was very breathless and I was having high fever. And I want to share this little bit of experience before I go to what to do to the patients, because I understand what you're saying, what happens when, you start having breathlessness and all that. I took one dose of paracetamol and the energy flow on my left hand completely stopped. And I could understand there is something not right when you're taking paracetamol. And what I did is, I started boosting my immunity with vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, and breathing exercises. And that's all I did. And can you believe it? I took the ajwain steam, because that's the traditional Ayurvedic treatment. And I put ghee kapoor in my nose. Because of these 3-4 guidelines that, had been taught to me because of being practicing Sahaj Yoga, did I understand that, this is attacking the liver, basically, making the liver very heated up. And on top of that, when you take, paracetamol and you take other medications, it causes a lot of harm and weakness to the immune system, which understood as cytokine storm in Mr. Vivek Agrawal's study. And after immunoboosting myself, within 2-3 days, my breathing came down, everything came down. So after that, what I did is when I started encountering COVID patients, I would follow them up every 24 hours. Morning and evening, I would call them, irrespective of, we're supposed to put progress notes, and build them. And I said, no, I'm going to be there for the cause of the humanity. And morning, I would see the patient, understand what is going on, because we were not allowed to do face-to-face. We were doing through FaceTime. And even if the person had difficulty breathing, I would say, okay, we are going to add up vitamin C. We are going to do the immunoboosting, and you are going to be in contact with me morning and evening. This has to be made understood. I made this message viral on WhatsApp that even if you have breathing difficulty, you cannot talk in sentence. You can talk in sentences, but your pulse ox shows 83. Do not panic. Do not go to the hospital. After my message went viral on WhatsApp recently, because of my experience in treating COVID patients during November, December, now we don't have COVID patients. So I was like, people are getting panicky for no reason. I had my own niece, mother, whom I treated because of the same reason. I was like, this strain is mutated. Will my treatment work or not? And then I saw, wow, I just calmed her down. I said, Bhabhi, you are just doing fine. Don't worry about it. You're able to talk in sentences. Just trust me. And I kept on being with her every 4 hours to give her the emotional support. And guess what? 2 days later, she thanks me till date. Every day, you saved my life. What do we do in India is the point. In India, we will have to educate every doctor that if you are able to speak in sentences, do not panic. Do not create panic in common public. What I can do from my side is give my number to every COVID patient you know, so that I can help to treat without charging. But how are we going to change the practice is going to be a big toll on those people till the time change comes. So please pass on this message to everyone. Do not panic. If you're able to talk in sentences, you don't need to go to the hospital, even if you're breathless. Because all you need is good dose of vitamin C, good amount of hydration, breathing exercises, some zinc, some vitamin D, and that's all you need to become better. Stop taking paracetamol. If there is fever, do ice pack. Bring the fever down and take vitamin C to immunoboost. Because what happens is that when fever comes and you're doing paracetamol, you're making the liver work more. The virus is already probably sitting there and in other parts of the body, like lung, sinuses. And now on top of that, when we're giving such a high dose of paracetamol, altogether, when we are not giving in the United States, we don't give more than 325. So I really don't know how it is going to happen in India that this change will come. But from my side, please my number and this message to become viral. If you can speak your oxygen, even if pulse ox shows low, go for vitamin C, go for vitamin D, vitamin calcium, and do not take paracetamol. Bring the fever down just by ice packs on, the back of the head, here on the armpits, here on the forehead. I hope my message is clear. COVID-19 is not a difficult virus to conquer. I have done it myself. I was very breathless. It's unnecessary fear. All this Tulsi Kara and everything that we do works, because I told my patients the same thing. Take basil tea, take some chicken soup, keep your diet very light, eat berries because they are superfoods. They help immunity. So anything that can improve the immunity is the key point, not taking paracetamol. I hope my point is clear. Thank you very much.
Dr. Garg, what about the antibiotics?
Absolutely not. So see, I am just saying paracetamol, right? When you go higher into that, now what is antibiotic, ivermectin, and along with that, they're giving doxycycline, right? And then they're giving these anti-cancer drugs. So I'll explain what exactly happens with each one. When you give an antibiotic and you give an antiparasitic, you can actually do research. Do research on every word that I'm saying over here. They kill the gut bacteria. The gut bacteria are like ganas. Ganas means the immunity. Once the gut gets off, and the immunity, of the gut goes down, half of the immune system is out. Because we all know now, especially in the United States, any and everybody, even those who don't come to doctors and have just newborn babies, they know the gut is the brain, and gut is the happiness, and gut is the health. Because when we kill our own probiotic, good bacteria, what happens? We've disarmed ourselves already. So once the disarming happens, what happens? Your symptoms become worse because virus has taken over everywhere. Virus becomes stronger and immunity goes down. Same thing doxycycline does. Now, on top of that, when you add, you've already given these 3 drugs, right? So your gut immunity is dead. On top of that, you gave an anti-cancer medicine. What did it do? It heated up all your system. And when it heats up the body, does the virus leave or go away? Or what happens? Yes, the virus gets killed. No doubts about it. When you heat up the body to such an extent, the virus gets killed. You can do the study on these points. I don't have a problem at all. And I have 100% guarantee every word that I'm saying is going to prove true. That when you give the antibiotics and along with that antiparasitics, the gut immunity goes down. But when you give the anti-cancer drugs, the virus gets killed. But what did we do to our body is create a cytokine storm. And what does that do? Is a severe post-inflammatory reaction that causes severe breathing difficulty, lung patches. It causes a lot of sputum. People can't, again, when they get discharged from the hospital, suddenly they collapse and die.
Dr. Garg,
I have a question, but there are some patients.
Let me ask the question.
Just one question.
Okay.
Just one question, Vivekji. Dr. Garg, you explained your point very well. But at the same time, there are patients who are being treated with the same drugs which you have mentioned should not be taken, and they are getting cured. So how's that?
Pardon? Please, may I understand your question?
My question is that the treatment protocol which is being followed in India is against what you're telling right now. So there are some patients who are not getting well, but there are some patients who are getting well with this treatment also. So what is your take on that?
It's the immunity of the person. 100%. For those who have taken antibiotics and become well, and I've got a little bit of mild cough, after the treatment, that means they already had good immunity and became panicked for no reason. They would have had minimal symptoms if they let the virus be there. That means they had trillions and probably trillions of bacteria already there, good bacteria in their gut, which even if got destroyed, they survived it. Their livers were very good and they did a good job taking care of their health. They didn't have diabetes and they didn't have cholesterol and they didn't have high blood pressure. Their immunity must be good. And of course, God's grace. We can't negate that. But by my experience, definitely this is what is happening. I have written, post-COVID symptoms, exactly what happens, how, if you have taken only paracetamol, then you will have dry cough, you may feel little bit weak, and then what do you do? And then I've written another, paragraph down there that if you have taken ivermectin, you have taken other, antibiotics and everything, you are going to produce sputum after sputum that you would be yourself surprised as to why the sputum is coming. And the sputum is coming because of the cytokine storm that is already there in the body. I have written it will take at least a month, and I added Ayurvedic medicines to that treatment protocol. When you have taken only paracetamol, you don't need any Ayurvedic medicines. You will recover. But if you've taken all these antibiotics, the body will remain weak. You may have breathing difficulty, which may land up permanently. You may have joint pains. So therefore, I wrote a protocol combining some of the immuno-boosting Ayurvedic medicines that I know of because of my own personal experience of using them and having my Kundalini raise more after I took them into my system. There are 3 of them, the Brahmi, the Shatavari, and along with that, Gaduchi. So I've written for women Shatavari, and I've written there as the protocol. So when you combine these 3 and you boost your immunity and you take some vitamin C, and then you have to do the steam every day, you have to drink some oils to repair all the peritoneum that is being burnt, and the cytokine storm that is coming. With this way of dealing with the body, giving it support to heal from the from the inflammatory response, it takes 1 month to feel a little better and 3 months to at least get 80% better, and completely out of it, I can't guarantee.
Thank you, Dr. Garg. Can you share the treatment protocol, what you're recommending through Vivekji, and we can get those details from Vivekji.
Sure.
Thank you, Dr.
And again, I request any and everyone who wants to actually feel whether that treatment is really true or not, just go to Sahaj Yoga website, get your self-realization, have the energy awakened, put your hands onto the protocol, and you'll feel if it is good, it will throw the energy out. It's very simple for Sahaj Yogis to do the right things, honestly. There are many Sage yogis who have died. Why they have died, I don't know how to explain. Probably they didn't have faith in Sage Yoga. They didn't have depth in understanding about Ayurveda like I did all these years. And am I going to be appealing to really fight the system? No. My point is that yes, lots of harm has been done. It's high time we combine the disciplines. Ayurveda cannot remain enlightened without having medicine. So Ayurvedic doctors need to be exposed and given time to do residency and come to medicine. And medicine doctors need to do Ayurveda. And how do they come to know whether they are doing the right thing or not? Has to be under the guidance of the energy flow. So it's a must for all of them to have Sage Yoga. So first Sage Yoga, to have the light, because that's what happened with me. Am I trying to propagate Sage Yoga? No, it's just a cause to humanity, because I could be successful saving so many lives. My protocol went viral to every CEO of my clinic, to the manager of my clinic, to high-risk manager of my clinic. And when they took photographs and they sent viral to everybody, they asked me, Dr. Garg, do you have a problem? I said, no. And any of your family members, if he's not responding within 2 to 3 days, call me back, give my number, I'm here. And guess what? I never got a call back from any of those family members, but only thanks. Dr. Garg, thank you so much. If you would have not been with us, what it would have been. Am I trying to sing my story here? No. I'm weeping from inside that I wish all three disciplines could be combined somehow. Because enlightenment is needed. Without light, whether we fight for Ayurveda, or we fight for Chinese medicine, or we fight for medicine, it's one and the same thing. How will you guys know what is the right limit? I treat asthma with ice packs and some Ayurvedic supports, and along with that allopathy. So what happens is, when acute attack happens, allopathic requirement of medicine goes down, side effects go down. And then when I have immunoboosted them in the long run with vitamin C, they stop having long-term attacks, recurrent attacks. So all three have to be combined. And I will share my message. I will give the protocols that I have with Mr. Vivek, and he can forward. And I must appreciate Mr. Vivek Agarwal, because if he would have not approached me, I think we could have never come even to this point to understand what is happening. His study is extremely good, extremely good. It can be proven anywhere at any molecular level. It's a blessing for me. And he contacted me just because of that WhatsApp message, which went viral from somewhere. And he gave me this thing, pin, and he said, I have this study. Can you please review it? I read the study, and I took only 20 minutes to say, oh my God, you got it, Mr. Vivek. Because it has vibrations too. That's the key point. And it's the truth. I am the evidence and the enjoyer of the study, a living experience here. That if you give paracetamol, you give these medicines, it kills the immunity, and you harm the human being more than actually help.
The link to the study has been shared in the chat box, so anyone can access it. One thing which I would like to speak is, see, our body, it has hundreds and thousands of functions, and they all function in a homeostatic and a balanced way. So speaking about cytokine storm, there are doctors and there are scientists who would agree that the cytokine storm, it's at the centerpiece of this COVID mystery. So basically our body, once it identifies there's a virus, it tries to increase the oxidative stress, it tries to boost itself, it tries to increase the heat in the body, and it tries to kill the virus. So if we try to lower the fever, the body still tries. The body is not mad. The body still identifies the virus and it tries, and it releases more and more cytokines. On top of that, when we are giving paracetamol, we are actually depleting the GSH, which is the most abundant and most potent antioxidant in our body. So when our body increases the fever, there is a balancing mechanism in the body. There is a homeostatic balancing mechanism in the body, which will protect itself from the heat and from the oxidative stress, which is essential for killing the virus, but not the body. So by giving paracetamol and lowering the fever, we are harming two things. One, we are not allowing the fever to rise and kill the virus. Two, we are depleting the GSH, which is our most potent defense against the oxidative stress. Now, another thing is, by depleting the GSH, we are allowing coagulation and oxidative stress to harm the tissues in the lungs. And there have been many cases, and most of the cases in COVID, the breathing difficulties they are facing, most of the scientists are saying it's not the virus which is causing the breathing difficulties. It's their own lungs, it's their own immunity which is attacking the lungs and damaging the tissue, due to which the tissue is losing its potency and they're not able to breathe properly. So what I like to add here is, the point I want to make is, our body is very intelligent. It has survived over millions of years, and the mechanism of fever, it has survived along. It has not gone. If it was not a required and a sustainable mechanism, it would have gone long ago, and it would not have survived with us. One last thing I like to say is, our cytokines, there are hundreds of them, and they all function in a balanced way. If you disturb one of them, all of them go haywire and the homeostasis is disturbed. So I like to ask Mr. Oren a question. So do you believe that there is a homeostatic mechanism in our immune system, and is it wise to disturb, or let us say take control of the mechanisms of the body, or try to tamper, or let us say tweak or improve or decrease one of them, without having a proper understanding, without having a proper mathematical accurate model of their homeostatic mechanism and how they're balanced together? If you'll please unmute yourself.
Yeah. No, I don't believe that disturbing the mechanisms in the body helps the body in any way. I believe I believe the first and foremost way to health and the ability to withstand disease, not just COVID, any disease, any virus or bacteria, whatever it is, it starts with a good diet. Okay. I believe that a good diet, we have to define that too, absolutely, today, okay? Because today, anybody you go to, any nutritionalist, will give you a different story. And I believe that a good diet is what we traditionally used to eat, okay? What our grandparents and our great-grandparents used to eat. I believe we should be drinking milk that isn't pasteurized. I don't believe we should even go near vegetable oils, and that we shouldn't be heating our oils at all, okay? Saturated fats are good for you, they're not bad for you. I don't think levels of cholesterols are even a question in my mind, okay? My cholesterol is 280. I don't think that's out of hand at all, okay? I think that's what's more important is everyone must ask himself, where does my cholesterol come from? Okay. If it comes from a good diet, then it's good. If it comes from a bad diet, then it's really, really bad. Okay. And it can cause you heart problems. I think the fact that you have between 5 and 7 kilograms of bacteria in your gut, all right, I think killing it is definitely the beginning of the end, okay? Without it, we are subject to a whole battery of autoimmune issues, okay? Every time we take antibiotics or any of these medications, okay, we kill that bacteria. We disturb our ability to digest. We impair our immune system, okay? We're actually fiddling with what is generally called the second brain, okay? And I think if modern medicine actually bothered to put a little bit more than, I don't know what it is in India, but I know American doctors don't get more than 2-3 hours of nutrition in the entire course, okay? They don't even see it as something that they need to look at for disease control. So I think that disturbing with anything, any natural process in the body will always have ramification. And I think to get ready for COVID, okay, is something that is essentially the same as getting ready for any disease on any day that you wake up, okay? And it always starts with a good diet, okay, and good exercise. We had, I'm Jewish, so we have a very clever doctor who lived about 800 years ago. He was called the Rambam, okay? He was the doctor to the king of Egypt. He served a couple of kings of Egypt. And he said very, very plainly, you want to be healthy? Eat little and exercise a lot, okay? Eat little but the right things, okay? And actually move your body, okay? If you don't move it, okay, it goes to the wayside, all right? Without it, this is a machine, if you want a muscle to grow, you have to exercise it. If you don't do anything with it, it gets smaller. It's the same with our immune system. It's the same with everything we do, okay? We have to move it.
One thing I'd like to say is, as I said, I have posted the link to my study in the chat box. I'd like to share what was my motivation for doing the research. I'll be very honest with all of you. To a lot of people, we are saying we took 1 year for this research, but actually I did it in 2 nights. And what the motivation behind this research was that I'm a student of physics and how the universe works. So I've been studying how a balanced and homeostatic particle is, how a balanced and homeostatic particle gives rise to matter. So that's a different story. But this research, the motivation for it is that I know one thing: our body is very intelligent, and right now modern science, or let us say even Ayurveda, it doesn't have any understanding of how it works. We must know that we do not know. Right now we are pretending we know, but with our intellect we can only see one thing at a time. Our body, it works in a tandem, it works in a dynamic way. Everything works together. It's not one thing at a time. So our body is a fantastic machine designed by, I don't know, God or what, but it's a fantastic and intelligent mechanism. And what I was wondering was, is the body capable of fighting the virus or not? So as I went through papers and papers and I went through history, I saw that there have been trillions of viruses which already live inside our body, and which along with which the body has survived. It has not died. So body has got the correct mechanisms. Without studying those mechanisms, and those mechanisms are not biased as to they'll try to just do one thing by damaging other functions. They're made in such a way, they're so balanced, and they work in such a tandem and homeostatic way that uh, it has survived so many things over the years. And now, without having the correct understanding of the mechanisms of the body, I think those who excel in science, those who do PhDs, they know that they do not know. Those who have read a little bit, they think they know everything. But those who are sitting in CERN, those who are working in the Hadron Colliders, they know that they do not know. So first we must realize that we do not know, and body is intelligent enough then we must make an attempt to maybe study the homeostatic mechanisms of the body, maybe reach a mathematical model of how the homeostatic mechanism works, and then only attempt to treat the body. Because if we are treating the body and disturbing, or let us say improving one function, we are, I don't know, creating a lot of havoc in the other mechanisms. So this was a motivation for research. Though I went into a lot of gobbledygook of medical sciences, I read about a lot of terms, I literally put myself there. And then because I had a preconceived notion, I had a specific aim to malign the modern science. That is why I did the research, and I think I created a perfect circle in the research. And if anybody reads my research well, they'll see that I have started with a hypothesis which doesn't have any basis to it, but I have proved what I wanted to prove by negating all that could prove it wrong. So I have given evidence to whatever evidence could prove my study wrong. I have negated it and proved that there is no such evidence. And
That's
it's
now we need to close it. That's why we need to close it.
Okay, sure. So please, everyone, read my study, and I'll request everyone to go to the chat box and open the paper.
I have a question to Dr. Garg. What do you say to people who are taking steroids for a slightest cough?
Steroids actually cool the body down, decrease the inflammation, but at the same time weaken the immunity.
Taking steroids for a slightest cough.
Yeah, is everybody able to hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. So steroids are used. I think I'm echoing because somebody is not on mute. Yeah, better. So steroids actually cool down the body very fast. So whenever we have inflammatory responses, like we had hives or we had anaphylaxis, a bee, bit, and then your body is absolutely swollen, your airway is completely swollen. We use steroids so that anaphylaxis can go down, the inflammatory markers can go down, and steroids actually cool the body down. But then when it comes to fighting, infections, when you combine steroids with fighting infections, then it's a deadly combination, because on one side, you're actually cooling the body down and bringing the cytokine markers low, but at the same time, weakening the immune system, because cooling the body down does what? Makes the immune system also go slow. So it does no benefit. For all my patients, whom I have seen in India, in this recent COVID time, I could contact only 4 or 5 of them, and many of them who have already done everything. My niece's mother was the first one, because at that point of time, I was aware what is going on, but I didn't know how to approach and what to do. My own parents had very minimal symptoms, only fever. And, I told my mom not to take paracetamol at all. So my niece's mother, I saw all the medications and I said, Medrol, this, that. I said, stop it completely. Even if it is in the middle, she had already taken for 3-4 days. And I said, Bobby, just stop it. No need to take it. It is going to worsen you. It will never let you come out. So we stopped all the medications and she trusted me. And there you go. Within 3 days, she was like, yes, I'm able to breathe much better. I have weakness, but I'm much, much better. I don't feel breathless at all. And then a week later, she feels, oh, wow, I don't have body aches at all. I feel better. Now I'm able to move and everything. So steroids is absolutely not. You've already made the patient come to the cytokine storm. Now you have no other option than to, add a steroid. As being a physician who's I don't even know how to explain who and what, because they are my own brothers and sisters. How can I fire bullets on my own brothers and sisters? But yes, the protocol that has been taken out is not a good one. It has devastated a lot. Steroids is not a good combination when you have to treat infections. And you've already given antibiotics, created a cytokine storm, and now to cool down the cytokine storm, you want to give steroids so that the body goes slow. And if little bit of virus is left, what it will do? It's very hard. It's very hard to even explain that, how to counteract the cytokine storm. My answer is combine Ayurveda, immunoboosting, hydration, good diet. Just like we heard just now, a good diet, in Jews, they're dealing it so smartly that every day they watch their diet, what they eat, because they are prepared that anytime the body can have an attack. And as far as Bhaskar's, dear the son, I need to know your name, dear, once again, because I know Mr. Vivek very well. I've never talked to you. Can I know your name once again, dear?
Bhaswar Agrawal. Bhaswar.
Yes, Bhaswar Agrawal. Yes. So for him, yes, we do have a homeostatic mechanism. That is true. And if are homeostatic, then the universe blesses us with balance to live on earth. We ourselves disturb the homeostatic balance and cause problem to ourselves. No doubts about it. But you cannot negate Ayurveda. You cannot negate other alternative medicines because, again, when you don't combine the disciplines, you don't know who we are. Now, I am a person who is lethargic by genetic makeup. My all organs are very lethargic. How do I come to know? Because of lack of energy flow on my left hand, which used to be when I joined Sahaj Yoga. Now, every person has a make. Someone has a Vata dosh. Someone has a Kapha dosh. Someone has a Vata Pitta dosh. So we need to know what is the imbalance to come in balance. If you leave a human being alone, thinking that he will create the homeostatic mechanism himself, then let me tell you, the human being himself, you will find very, very seldom those people who are in balance over here, so that they could be blessed with the bliss of the homeostatic mechanism of the universe.
Need to be
so that balance has to be brought in under the light. How will you know whether you're balanced or not? By the energy flow. If you have cool energy flow at the top of your head and both hands, you are balanced. Otherwise, you need, some support, some clearance. Either, you do foot soak, or you do some Ayurvedic treatments, or you eat a healthy diet. To remain in homeostatic balance, it is very important to know yourself. And yes, you're right, we don't know ourselves. Is it that I have the light over here and I know myself? No. Every day I have to know myself. Morning and evening, I have to know myself to get myself in balance.
Dr. Anugar, I have one question. You have said
Yes.
that you have said for about 3 medicines, even burning Loban also was one of the things, and some 3 medicines you said you will remember and then you will give us. Kindly give us before the meeting is over. And I will also request Ashok Kumar Mishra ji and you also to please, if you want to share your contact number. If you cannot, if you want to hide it, then at least you can give us your email address.
Sir, can you please repeat one thing you want is the treatment protocol? Yes, I will forward that. What else do you want? My phone number, no problem.
Yeah. Phone number or email address, whatever you are comfortable.
Okay, thank you.
And Ashok Kumar Mishra is there. Your number also we wanted.
Sir, I have given you my number. You can call me and I'll give you the contact number of Dr. Ashok Mishra.
Yes, I got it. Actually, I got your number. Okay. I'll take it from you. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
We have one Dr. Surbhi Agarwal. She wants to ask the question.
Yeah, hello, hi. I'm DT Surbhi Agarwal, a practicing nutritionist in Delhi. So my question or a request to Oren, it is to you. I really liked your theory for, increasing the immunity and you treating people in Israel without any ivermectin or any other harmful drugs, the potent harmful drugs that we are considering, we are losing lives in India. So I really wanted to know from you your protocol, the kind of things that you mentioned, the zinc, the bioavailability of zinc, having it with quercetin. And that's a flavonoid. Me being a nutritionist, I understand, that is, these are all phytonutrients and antioxidants basically that are helping us in fighting COVID or any virus. So I really needed in what way are you giving or you're treating your patients? Because me being a nutritionist, obviously I want to combine all of good things from allopathy or naturopathy and ayurveda, because I'm a believer in all of these. And you also, coming from your mouth, I am even more interested in that, knowing more about the combinations of having the fat soluble vitamins and the zinc with quercetin. It's a really new thing for me. So I would request, because time is getting over here. So if you can forward, what kind of protocol are you following in Israel? And as you mentioned it, we need to do it in advance so that time doesn't run short and we don't reach that stage of losing people's lives. So if it is okay with you, if you can also share the protocol that you have been following with your patients. You have been emphasizing on the importance of ivermectin, but I really am interested in knowing the protocol of fighting COVID without ivermectin. So it's a request to you, if you can share your great knowledge with us, so that maybe being a nutritionist, I can help people, avoiding that stage, of going.
Let Mr. Oren answer.
Not a problem. I will share whatever I've got with everybody. I think the important thing is all to realize, okay, that improving your immune system, okay, is not something that you can look at as somebody contracts COVID. If somebody's immune system is down when they contract COVID, okay, I think it's a little bit too late to start taking care of the immune system now. Okay, we need to make sure that the person is alive. That is why I always believe that there is a place for allopathic medicine. Okay, allopathic medicine is really good for emergencies. Okay, it's really great for emergencies. It's not good for any kind of a condition that is over a long term. All right, but for emergencies, okay, it has a place, and that's why I'm saying that ivermectin does have a place. Okay.
Yeah. I understand that. Yeah.
Even though I do not for myself and not for my kids. Okay. My wife basically makes medicine from walking in the field and picking plants. Okay. So we don't take anything here besides plant-based medication. All right. And for us, that's enough. But we have spent many years, okay, improving our immune system and our health through natural means. Okay. And I think it's something I think it's in highlight now. It's been highlighted by this disease, how important it is, okay, to start, even if you're not sick, okay, to make sure that the diet you're eating is good, that you're getting plenty of exercise, okay, and that you're strengthening your immune system, okay? It doesn't happen overnight. And building your gut immunity, building your gut flora, the bacteria that you have in your gut is not an overnight thing either. And one dose of antibiotic, okay, can take you back a year's work of building your gut bacteria, okay? And so, yes, there's a place for it, but I think that place must be reserved for life-threatening situations, okay? And if the person's life is threatened, okay, I wouldn't hesitate to give him an allopathic medication. I really wouldn't, okay? And just like everything in life, there must be a balance. And I will share my everything that I've tweeted with you with pleasure. I will actually put my email on the, I think on the chat here. Is that how it works?
Yeah,
Okay.
please do that.
And you can put it on the chat box.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Oren, because your
so-
approach is really close to the natural things. So by all means, the increasing immunity is the need of the hour. So I just hope that we can, maybe help people, preparing our body in the most natural way for fighting, any kind of such viruses. So thank you for your inputs. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. My email is there. If anybody wants to ask me or get in touch with me, please do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Arun, for answering that question. And I think we have overshot the time slot. We had kept for about an hour, but it has gone for about 2 hours. And thank you to the esteemed panelists. And we got to know very important tips on how to build the immunity and how to fight with the COVID. How to prevent it, first of all, and if somebody gets it, then how to get over it by using both the Ayurvedic and the allopathic system in a balanced way. So now I would request Piyush Bhai to please place a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Pankaj ji. It was a very wonderful, informative session today, I must tell, an eye-opening session. Sorry, Ashok Mishra, Dr. Anu Garg from US for joining us, and Mr. Oren, obviously, from Israel for giving us all that deep knowledge about the subject, and our own Rotarian Vivek Agarwal ji for the insight and always, telling us to take care of ourselves with the proper nutrition and Ayurveda and avoid all the unnecessary medication which is going to destroy our gut. Very important field in our body is gut, with a second mind, I would say, as you all have mentioned. I'm really thankful, and I express our gratitude on behalf of our club for joining us and giving us all that information and important knowledge. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
everybody.
Be safe.
Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Stay safe.